Welcome, everybody. At my last session for creating brighter future for PhDs, but also for PhD students in life sciences. But I also, what I really liked, it is also for people which are in STEM. So PhD students and postdocs, not necessarily only life sciences, but also today I'd like to become more inclusive. So thinking about also the group from STEM, so science, technology, engineering, and math. And I always, as I said, I'm a person myself, scientist, for those which are joining for the first time and they've never been at this session. This is already my more than 20th session, where we really have this quality time talking about how we can create a brighter future for PhD students and postdocs. Myself, I have background in life sciences, but I very much, as a scientist, entrepreneur, and agile coach, run these sessions in order to give you different perspectives. That's what also agility is about. For those which would like to learn more about agility, agile mindset, please contact me because I'm also develop workshops to learn about agile mindset and to implement it in your professional life. In short, it is basically thinking about, taking different perspectives and through learning from different perspectives, understand, how I can now create opportunities. So in a way, what are the possibilities applying agile mindset to advance my career in life sciences or in STEM. So it's not per se for biologists. Myself, I'm biologist. That's why I brought it in. But it's also for interdisciplinary scientists. I think the sessions should actually go wider because it's not just science is not just about biology, right? So it's more than that. It's overall life sciences, chemistry, and health. And industry recognize this sector. If we think about transition from academia to industry, is recognizing this sector as a life sciences and health. Probably also medtech, I think, and of course pharma, which is related to all, pharmaceutical sciences, which you could think of. And I hope it's visible, but I think it's pretty visible. So today, I wanted to spend this hour, because for those which are joining first time, these sessions I run for 1 hour. It is, I think, sufficient quality time once a month to discuss important issues, but also important opportunities, events, tips. I also perform personalized coaching for those which think, okay, I want to make transition, but I don't know really how. That's where I can step in and help you out, being already more than 7 years here in Leiden Bioscience Park. So in the biggest and the oldest life sciences or biotech park in Netherlands. So you can contact me. I can put my email regarding one-to-one coaching if you don't know actually how to start, because that's obviously it is always the question. But today, I would like to, for those which already follow my sessions for a longer time, including my coaches, which I also from here greet warmly. These are sessions for all PhD students and postdocs, all scientists which think about such transition, global transition, in terms of all different countries. It's not just per se Netherlands, where I am based in, but also it is US, and overseas countries, but I think overall all continents. I wouldn't like to claim myself to be inclusive if I would not actually perform these sessions for all of you across the world. I think that's a very important message, which I like to bring here, especially at the last session, to make sure that indeed I can reach as many PhD students, scientists in need, which think about transition from academia in industry, which it's we already discussed through sessions. It's a stepwise process, a strategic process. It's something which you not just do from day one to day two, but it's something which you have to simply keep preparing yourself, keep building your also visibility, which I think I didn't bring yet in this process. Visibility of you as a candidate, right? As a potential outstanding candidate. So to bring this visibility, I think it's important to recognize also the environment, especially business environment. We call it business ecosystem. We have today, I think we were going to talk about Dutch ecosystems for all of you which are interested to maybe coming to Netherlands, but also those which are already here, Dutch-based, Netherlands-based, and thinking about transition from academia to industry, meaning also ecosystem. And I would here particularly focus on well-matched ecosystem. So the major question which I'd like to focus today, which also was in my post, is now how to make yourself visible, right? But also how the particular Dutch ecosystem, there are 8 major ecosystems here in Netherlands, can help you in this transition from academia to industry. And before I brought some numbers that Minister actually of Science is cutting, so in order to generate savings on education, it's cutting the budget, causing more, actually, I would say causing more pressure to move from academia to industry, right? In terms of very limited budget, which academia has, and actually less and less. So it's more dependent, actually, this industry here becomes, that's what I said just at the session before when we started with ecosystems, and I talked about Amsterdam Bioscience Park, that this becomes new niche if nothing will change in terms of supporting academia financially for R&D or fundamental research. So how can business ecosystems support this transition? In order to answer this question, it's important to learn more about this business ecosystems. I have my startup since 7 years, so I visited most of them. So for me, this very much helps me in my entrepreneurial activity to build collaboration-driven projects between academia and industry. But more than that, it also helps scientists, fundamental scientists, academic scientists to move on and enter industry. So I would like to start now, since I already told you that I did discuss already Amsterdam Bioscience Park in detail, which is the first one. I'd like to discuss the rest and of all main science or the largest science parks in Netherlands. And the one which I like to focus on is but before I will go to it, I like to mention all of them, is high-tech. Campus Eindhoven. The next one is TU Delft Science Park. The next one is Utrecht Science Park. The next one is Kenny's Park Twente. The next one, of course, it's LBSP, which I already mentioned. I'm mentioning all of them here, where I am based in. The next one is Wageningen campus. And how many? And the next one, we're going to have Brightlands Camelot campus. And I think if you are not able to write it down, I can also paste this information in the comments. So I think that will help you to also to recognize and learn and know how many main science park we have in Netherlands. So we have 2, 4, 6, 7, and the one which I already talked about was Amsterdam Science Park. So it's 8 major, some people call it science parks, biotech ecosystems. It's actually biotech ecosystems. They are surrounded, part of these ecosystems are universities, but also they are surrounded by universities, by technical universities in terms of TU Delft, that's the technical university, but and also other academic buildings and facilities. That's also important to know. So now, knowing this, I think I'd like to start now, since at the last session I talked about Amsterdam. I'd like to go more in detail now to tell you more about high-tech campus Eindhoven. And I think this is not just relevant for biologists, but also for all scientists in STEM. So Eindhoven. First, I'd like to bring you some numbers. I'm not going to bring all the numbers, otherwise I think this would be I think it would be informative, but it could be too many details to really get a good picture. And I like that you get a little bit more bigger picture than all the details. I will bring some numbers, of course, but I wouldn't like to tell you, let's say, share with you too many details. If you want, you can always contact me about particular park, so I can tell you more about this. So we go to Eindhoven. Eindhoven, actually, I visited, maybe that's a little bit personal story. I visited actually when I met my collaborating colleague in Rotterdam, at Rotterdam Business School, Jack Gao, and I here also send greetings to Jack. And then he said to me, well, if you want to learn more about investors, why don't you start helping me in organizing meetings, of pitching, also in creating opportunities for financial support for founding projects. And I was really glad to meet investors for the first time and organize meetings with him. And then I visited Jack also in Eindhoven, because that's where he is, and that's where he is as an investment company. His investment company is supporting founders, startups, to drive innovation to the next level. So that's where I think for the first time been in high-tech campus Eindhoven, and then it was an event which I'm going to share with you later on. But first, I'd like to tell you a little bit about infrastructure, just to keep, I think, more structure or flow of the information. So definitely, this is one of the biggest life science or high-tech, maybe not life science per se, but high-tech science parks in Netherlands. Regarding infrastructure, how to actually travel there, how to get there, you can easily get by train, but also people which want to join from outside, so from abroad, there is an airport supporting all cheap airlines. So I think that's very easy to actually to jump in and participate in the events. especially Excel event, I think is the most famous, and I will also put it there information in the comment. So the area is in terms of it's pretty big. I will here put some numbers. So this is the area. It's, I think, one of the biggest areas from all the science parks here, and there is 150 companies, or probably more, because this data I have are from last years. So it's there are of course companies which within this 150 represent startups, but also small, medium-sized enterprises and 65 corporates. So that's, I think, pretty outstanding, 65 corporates. And in these corporates, one of the companies which I think are you can be very potentially interested to work in is Philips. That's the place where Philips is located, but also other companies which might be interesting for people in STEM, which is IBM, which is Intel, and NXP. So these are the companies which I'd like to pay attention to. In terms of a landowner, because this also creates. I told you that, for example, in Amsterdam Bioscience, one of the landowners is Dutch University, Amsterdam University. So actually, I should say that you should go back actually to look at this, because I think I would have to check which of the universities is an owner, but it's one of the universities as a landowner. Here, land ownership belongs to Ramphastos Investments, so a private company, not a university. What is interesting about this campus, that indeed there is a headquarter of Philips, right? That's where innovation is developed. Especially in healthcare, I think, in life sciences and health sector, I would say that's where innovation particularly is picked up regarding, biological related research. If we think about long-term vision, of course, there is a vision to increase numbers of employers which are working in corporates, but also in startups. I think that's a common vision for many science parks, especially in R&D sector. And investment in SMEs and startups in health, energy, and that's important here in smart environments. So definitely the R&D is very well developed here. What I also wanted to bring in why R&D is well developed here is one of the things which I like to share also here about Eindhoven is that there also are institutes which are connected to open innovation. I talked already about open innovation overall. So developing new technologies, applications that help solve social problems and challenges and bring them to the market, so commercialize it. So that's one thing, but especially focusing on high tech. But there are also institutes which I like to here highlight, because I think many times these institutes are not really always in the spotlight, and they are important in this open innovation strategy, paving this open innovation path. So there is a host center. And you can check on Google website which is actually representing open innovation by also involving IMEC, that's another institution, and TNO. There is also digital, I would say, ecosystem. I think we live now in very much digital or hybrid era. So it's good to understand also that there is also digital, I would say more like a platform, which is EIT. And this is ecosystem of universities, research institutes, companies, valorization centers, and SME associations. So it's very academic industrial platform, gathering all this academic and private entities. There is also obviously at the cluster in Eindhoven in this science park, Eindhoven University of Technology. So technical university, which I think it is a beating heart in terms of reaching out to private parties to collaborate, including, of course, Philips. But it's also a university which has a lot of initiatives itself, focusing particularly on energy, health, and smart mobility. So energy, health, that comes back more to life sciences and health, and energy. And there should be smart mobility, smart cities. In terms of smart cities project. So this is important, I think one of the important institutes, and one which maybe is for colleagues, engineers. There's also a Solar Energy Application Center. So CEAC. This link I will also put in the comments, so you don't have to memorize, write it down, all of them. But I think this is important to mention for engineers. It's an independent research organization that was founded in 2012 and involves or is focused on solar technologies, I would say, or solar energy based technologies. So this is something which I think mentioning this institute is in a way paving the way how what is the R&D focus of the campus in Eindhoven. It is health, it is energy, and this is smart environments. Regarding as you see, I don't try to speak super fast and bring you all the numbers as fast as possible and go through this science parks very quickly, because I want really to take time. I mean, the sessions are to take time, to slow down, to also discuss it, and not just go through all the details I have here in my notes, in my documents. So regarding R&D facilities, this is something which is important for all scientists which are looking for a job, because these are the facilities where probably the most jobs, especially R&D jobs, is generated, right? So there is a quite big R&D facility, Philips Innovation Services Instant Access, which is offered by Philips to multi-purpose labs and clean rooms. So Philips Innovation Labs. I think that's quite nice infrastructure created already by Philips. There's 5 ready-to-use expert labs, including electromagnetic compatibility and wireless connectivity lab, electronic design services lab, material analysis lab, reliability lab, and prototyping lab. So maybe I will also put these labs, since they are related to electromagnetic compatibility, wireless connectivity, electronics, smart devices, which we call design services, material analysis, reliability lab, prototyping lab. So there's a lot of this facilities, expert labs created by Philips. And I think that's really good, because this means that there need to be also a help to maintain these laboratories, to train, right? So that is the possibility where also there are potential opportunities for jobs for academic scientists in terms of training or facilitating, or giving workshops. I think in states, very often this type of functions by academic institutes are called actually instructors, so to become instructor. So this is something which I think I'd like to comment about. But for those which might consider themselves working in startup environment, not per se in Philips, but in startup environment, there is also a high tech XL accelerator. And this is usually not represented only by infrastructure to help startups to develop their innovation further, but it's per se focused on early stage hardware startups and helping the startups to develop this hardware. And this can be, including medical devices. So you should never associate hardware only with computer, but also, VR, virtual reality devices, right? For education, for design, for prototype design, for prototype testing, for simulation of experiments, and for also, developing every time proof of concept, no matter which technology or which sector you are. So it can be very much still very related to life sciences and health, to medical devices. So including prototype, all phases from prototype to the market in terms of hardware, also including life sciences and health sector. So that's something which I wanted to comment about this, I think, infrastructure. In terms of accelerator, this actually is obviously infrastructure, but it's also actually 6 months program, which helps startups to fast forward. I mean, in ideal condition to fast forward, because fast forward in especially life sciences and health tech, it's quite challenging. So it's not something which you can in 6 months program bring to the market right away, but it definitely helps to support, to accelerate development and market entry. There is also something which is related to high tech XL. It is a high tech XL Plaza. And that is the incubator hub, so center for high potential, high tech startups in their early and late growth, moving towards scaling up their businesses. So that's also good to know about this hub, because you can also consider work not per se startups, but also scale-ups. right? Which already have a products on the market and they scaling up the production. This is also, I think, a place to be and participate, especially in events if they are organized. There are, of course, business centers. There are events. There are campus technology seminars, meetups. So please look at the website of Eindhoven Science Park and look for the events. Since I have very limited time to comment today on all the events, but there is one of the events, I think, annually it's a XL event. So this is definitely event to attend. There is what I like to still say is there something. Of course, there are parking facilities, community services. There's a strip famous, the Center for Meetings, Inspiration and Creativity, but also a campus buildings, including also Dutch Design Week. That's also something which maybe as the last I'd like to comment about the events, which I had the pleasure also to, with my colleague, to present one of our projects in biocoating. It's Dutch Design Week, where also this takes place once a year at Eindhoven. In Eindhoven, so you can also go to different places of the campus of Eindhoven Science Park and also visit and see actually what type of prototype, also including robotics, what are the current developments. So that's also some, I think it's more festival, takes a few days. I strongly recommend for people just to get a good impression of Eindhoven Science Park. I think maybe commenting on sustainability, of course, ambition of each science park, especially the largest in Netherlands, is to become sustainable. Here I could mention a few. It's a usage of a large-scale cold and heat storage system. LED lighting is used in car parks, so that's quite good. There's also sustainable real estate, high density of e-charging poles in the Netherlands, and introduction of many campus bikes to promote also eco style. And community garden, these are the campus community garden and the use of apparently these bikes in the campus. I think it's pretty common. There are still, for those which are traveling by car, parking facilities. That's something which I'd like to comment on. And this is all on, as I said, by Ramphastos investments. So that's good to keep in mind. So this is, I think, Eindhoven Science Park, which I very much invite you to join. And I hope I still always have to control what I'm writing, and if my head is not covering the information here. But as I said, some of these informations I will put in the comments, so you can see them, and you should not be afraid that you can miss them. So the next park which I would like to spend the next minutes is TU Delft Science Park. So it is located not so actually far from Leiden, but also from Rotterdam. I think it's between Rotterdam and Leiden. So I wish that there would be, actually there was some initiative, but I don't know how this ended up, to create community line between Delft Science Park and Leiden at least. I think so far this didn't yet was not accomplished. So I'm still waiting for it, because there is a lot of important events in terms of developing, especially interdisciplinary collaboration in life sciences by my startup to actually be often at TU Delft campus, because that's how you create sustainable type of collaborations, being there, talking to people, building projects, developing new prototypes, building prototypes together as a biologists and engineers. So this is something which definitely, I hope this is going to, in the end, such a bus line is going to be created, which will allow us quicker commute than train, because trains don't go directly to these campuses. So now I'd like to talk about, having this introduction, I'd like to talk about the Delft Science Park. I have to just go through my notes here, and we'll see if we can continue this. Yes. It's quite a big campus. It's more than 219 companies. So TU Delft. I always put plus because, of course, this numbers are not exactly accurate, because they're coming from previous years. So it's quite a lot of companies. It's, I think, one of the biggest campuses close to Leiden. And this campus represents also a high-tech campus, but involving still life sciences and health sector. So that's something which I'd like to first comment on. I've been there multiple times. There is a lot of robotics involved in many different projects, prototypes, especially medical devices sector. So medtech is very well represented there in terms of projects. Regarding the infrastructure and area, I think the area is also pretty big. These are the numbers which I just would like to give it to you. And in terms of airport, I think the closest airport is in Rotterdam. So that's something which, for those which would think to join or to come to Delft Science Park or join events or look for job, this is something I think to pay attention. But it's not yet well commuted. I have to say that I had to spend really long time, commuting time, to get there, even from Leiden Bioscience Park. So that's why I mentioned this commuting line. So there's 219 companies. Majority of these companies are startups. At least more than 190 are startups, 20 small and medium-sized enterprises, excluding startups, and 7 corporate players. Unique companies which I'd like to mention among these corporates, which also gives you a good idea what type of companies are there, are 3M, Applicon Biotechnology, there is Nuon Solar Team. I think these are the teams, but I think Delft Robotics. From the largest, I think 3M is the largest here. And there is also the company, because I don't want to mention all of them, I think in terms of software, Exact Software. Some of them probably are not really known to you. Some of them, maybe there are more, but I wanted to highlight at least few of them. And definitely, yeah, the campus provides a lot of engineers, right? That's the very big difference compared to Leiden Bioscience Park, where we have only Leiden University. Well, only we have we don't have engineering universities, right? Or universities training engineers. This campuses, both Eindhoven and Delft, are the main hubs for engineers or for training engineers, and they are highly, in terms of jobs, but also demand on the job market, regarded here. So definitely this campus is, I mean, education is very well connected to all different projects supported by all different companies in terms of engineering, but it's also of software development, in terms of robotics. And I told you already about medtech. So this is about the numbers a little bit and area. Some developments which have been made. Maybe before I say about maybe sounds obvious or not, but TU Delft Science Park is located on the campus of Delft University, and Delft University is the oldest technical university in the Netherlands, and is the most prestigious university in many different disciplines. Regarding developments, what has been done, the exact software headquarters, so this is already quite big company. I think you can look at the website. I will also put it in the link. But there's also Applicon Biotechnology, that Dutch headquarters have been settled there. 3M Dutch headquarter. Regarding the incubator, which I told you about, High Tech XL in Eindhoven, it's the incubator which is in Delft, which is also known for very many different events and initiatives, is Yes Delft Incubator. I've been participating there, and you can see also the link in one of the events she leads. It's to empower women in innovation, in entrepreneurship. There is also Green Village Field Lab. Field Lab. In terms of facilities, for us, actually innovation, focusing on innovations for a sustainable future. In this field lab, they can be developed, this type of projects tested and demonstrated. And there's also International School Delft, and the other initiatives which are particularly maybe important for biologists is Holland Particle Therapy Center. Holland Particle Therapy Center. This is Innovative Research and Treatment Center of proton therapy. Of course, Yes Delft offers as an incubator also labs, but these are not exclusive labs, these are shared labs. And there are also Robo Valley. This is related to robotics. Robo Valley. Headquarters, where researchers and entrepreneurs cooperate in the field of robotic. This is I think, one of the most exciting platforms, at least if I think about developing prototypes in medtech. Bringing biologists and engineers to work on the projects together. And of course, there is Faculty of Applied Scientists. This is new building, but also there are also sport center. This I didn't talk about in Eindhoven, but there's many of these facilities there. I just wanted to highlight some of them. And long-term vision for Delft is definitely something which I'm experiencing every time I'm at the event there. It's a close collaboration between companies and researchers at TU Delft. creating a climate, a vessel, I would say even more than climate, but vessel for innovation where research and business closely collaborate and contribute to solve major societal challenges. We talk about the sustainable societal or social innovation. Regarding R&D, we have, I think, 16 minutes, so I think I can shortly comment about R&D facilities. As I said, this is also something which probably may be of you of a high interest, because it brings really these opportunities for working in such facilities. So definitely regarding research institutes, there is the ones which I'd like to mention is KU Tech Institute. It's an institute which is for quantum computing and quantum internet. Especially if you think about involving, especially now it's a high trend to involve, right, quantum computing in any type of innovation. It's also an education center, a knowledge and education center for also radiation-related research. Then we have Innovative Scientific Research Lab, IKL. We also have KAVLI. I want to mention some institutes, not all of them. KAVLI is Institute for Nanoscience, Delft. And we have Space Institute. All colleagues from STEM in space. Space Institute. So also space technologies. And sport and engineering institutes that's also involving disciplines in development, sport devices, but also robotics institutes. Unites all university research in the field of robotics. There is organization which takes care of collaboration between academia and industry. In terms of tech projects, it's TNO. It's translated, I think, for those which never heard about TNO as organization, Dutch organizations. It's an organization in Netherlands for applied research overall. And as I said already, there's Holland Particle Therapy Center, which I already mentioned. So R&D focus is in energy. If we think about R&D focus, is similar to Eindhoven. R&D focus is on energy, is on deltas, infrastructures, and mobility. So I would say sustainable, not only in terms of energy, but also in terms of mobility projects. Is medtech or health. I would call it more medtech. But including also medical imaging, image-guided medicine, targeted molecular technology, home care technology, but also nanotechnology, right? Imaging. For hospitals, I think it's one of the most important things which I'd like to hear maybe highlight in terms of imaging. There are shared also R&D facilities. You have Labs TU Delft NL. Delft University of Technology has a website, which I'm going to also put, where you can actually look all the information of research facilities, and you can find it there. There is also something, I think, for people which might be from STEM regarding institutes. It's Simona Research Simulator. It's It was built for TU Delft and can simulate all types of aircraft, helicopters, and even cars. So I think that's quite amazing. Green Village is which I just mentioned is also not just about innovation but also about living sustainability, where students, researchers, entrepreneurs, government can work together. So really this triple helix model of innovation. And importantly, also there is support, regulatory support. So yeah, definitely KU Tech and Simona Research Simulator, and Green Village, and Yes Delft Incubator are I think the best, I would say, the most representative, the most visible institutes, organizations to promote both institutes but also incubators to promote innovation, especially interdisciplinary environment, where engineers, biologists, students, researchers can get together and together develop innovation. Startup facilities, I think there is incubator. Yes, Delft, I think I already said about this. Robo Valley, robotics startups. Over apparently 170 robotics researchers collaborate with experts, entrepreneurs, and decision makers, so policy makers too. And definitely sustainability is important there. In terms of main, I think not only policy, but there is energy saving objective. There is also intelligent energy systems introduced, CO2 footprint reduction of 50%, sustainable energy production, of which 25% by own production by 2020. So there is a lot of this sustainability developments, but also achievements, as also in the case of Eindhoven Park. One of the achievements is also LED lighting. I think it's similar, cold and heat storage system, and introduction of dynamic heating network controller, and installation of 10,000 square meters of solar panels on various TU Delft buildings. I think that's also something which is still missing here in Leiden Bioscience Park. And I hope that since it is our close neighbor, we can also learn from them. So that's something which I'd like to I think bring today. These two science biotech parks. I hope, because I described this, I hope you can see it now, so that I will make sure that I don't cover this information. I hope that this was very clear for you. This was also giving you some numbers to to see and a little bit also for yourself compare what type of which science park is well matched for you in terms of transition from academia to industry, and where you should actually look for which institutes, which platforms, which incubators you should actually join events and talk to these people to become part of community. I think that's the best way of you becoming part of community, not necessarily right away, in a way, thinking, oh, I would love to get right away job, but also just please participate in their events and learn and get to know people, simply representing these communities, community builders. Look for community builders, but also talk to companies, talk to startups, talk to scale-ups, talk to academic researchers. They all are going to pave your way from academia to to industry. And if you really don't know, well, I'm too shy, I don't know how to do it, I don't really have a clear plan, I don't know how to perceive this to make sure that I become visible, please contact me for personalized coaching one-to-one. So I think from this great place, this great room, I love this room because I can put everything on the board, and bring perspective also by bringing it on the board, but also discussing it. I think this space, I think this coaching sessions are meant to be useful for all of you. Are meant to give you some I think knowledge about all major science parks in the Netherlands, and how now having this knowledge, I can use this knowledge. We'll do it in next year, in 2025. I will discuss how having this knowledge we can make a successful or effective transition from academia to industry. So please stay tuned. For those who didn't subscribe yet, please subscribe to support the development of this channel, also effective development. So please subscribe, and this doesn't cost anything. So for all of you which might think, is it costing? No, this doesn't bring any consequences. Please subscribe. Please support growth of this channel so we can create more opportunities for a brighter future for all of you. So warm greetings. And also, I think, please accept also my warm seasonal greetings for Christmas holidays, for those who celebrate Christmas. Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year, so that when we wake up the 1st of January, we start to think brighter. Also following my sessions, I hope these sessions also give you a brighter perspective of all different opportunities in Netherlands, but also outside of Netherlands. So please, for those which joined for the first time, please go to my previous sessions. Please also give comments. If you have comments, if you have questions, please also contact me. I will put in comments later on all these links which I told you during the session. I will put in the comments, but also my email related to personalized one-to-one coaching. So all the best. I wish you all the best in this transition, but therefore I am also there to help you out as an agile coach. And being in the industry, I think for so many years helped me to really define effective type of training for all the academic scientists which want to make transition from academia to industry. So yes, that's what I like to, I think, say at the end. And have a good holidays, and see you next year at the next session. Bye.